Can I give yourself a round of applause? Somebody look at your neighbor and say, feature time. Feature time! So, for at least 4.5 years, I've known this poet coming to the stage. We've done plenty of community work. She is an amazing spirit. She's actually, this funny thing is, I'm her slam coach, but she's actually coaching me through some life shit. So that's some dope shit right there. She is one of the most amazing creative people I met in life, and she is sitting on top of this thing here in Charlotte. I can go on for days giving her accolades that will not even add up to the person that she is. So, some of you may know her, she may be new to a few in the building, but I want you to give a warm round of applause for my good friend, Shane, a.k.a. Riot. Give it up for Riot, y'all!
I'm disappointed that V didn't play no bone crusher for me coming on.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
Don't take my phone too long alone.
Dang, that would have been it right there.
It's too hard. Break the phone, break the phone. Welcome, y'all. Thank you so much for coming out.
Yeah.
Look at your beautiful faces. Ridiculous. So I want to start by saying that I am so happy that the people who came up before me to share their poetry got free up here. So it's just like on this it's important to me because I feel like holding that space for people is a part of what I do as well. So it was perfect, the poems that y'all chose to share tonight. So thank you for that. But I want to raise our frequency a little bit. Y'all know about raising your frequency?
Yeah.
Raise your frequency and all good things come to you. So humor me. I want everybody to take a big breath in, big breath out. And let's raise our arms up, raise them up high, spread them out.
Yeah.
And on the count of 3, I want you to scream from your belly, from your ovaries if you got them, scream that that I am worthy of love. Y'all ready? 1, 2, 3. I am worthy of love. Yes.
Way down to my ovaries.
Yes. All right, so I got some awesome stuff lined up for y'all. Please talk to me afterwards. I have merch. I got my books. I got my album.
How much?
So the album is only 5 tonight. It's usually 10.
Only 5? No.
And my books are 11. No, that shit ain't coming down. I ate too much Waffle House. The book is about Waffle House to lower the price on that.
Yeah.
I got fucking stomach ulcer and all kinds of shit on that. So I gotta pay the hospital bills. I also have a newsletter that's amazing. I send out monthly tips and encouragement and support and tools that you can use for, like Josh said, to better your life. This year I want everybody around me shining, right?
Yeah.
So,
Right.
alright. I got new shit. Somebody say new shit?
New shit.
So, I'm excited. I memorized it today, so we're going to see if I for real have it on the brain. We'll find out.
Wait. Oh,
Yeah.
when you wrote it?
I wrote it yesterday.
Beast
I'm
mode.
trying. I'm saving it for the last poem, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring 6 poems to y'all, okay? I'm not going to talk a lot in between. They're going to go one into the other, and your signal for the next poem is a clap, and I'm going to show you what number we're on, alright? Sound good?
Good.
Alright, we're going to get in it.
Yes.
So the first thing I like to do is talk about how powerful poetry is. Y'all, poetry is hella powerful. If you're a poet, you know that. If you've been to a poetry show, you know that. The problem is, there's some people who, if they've never experienced it, they don't understand that, right?
Right.
Perfect example. I was getting ready to feature at the Blumenthal. I was so excited. I was like, oh shit, Blumenthal? I was like, damn, in the big leagues, right? And I was telling this guy about it. And this dude goes, well, I don't see what the big deal is. It's just poetry. It's just words. So I had some big words for him. But I didn't say them. Instead, I said, look, man, look. My dad was drunk, true story, outside the Mayflower restaurant the night he knelt down and placed his hand on my shoulder when I was 7. He pointed up to a crescent moon with a star next to the steeple and said, look, remember this. Then he staggered off to the car, left me standing in the parking lot, and y'all, I stared and stared until my eyes fell backwards into my face, became black holes and sucked the moon out of the sky. Y'all, my dad taught me how to see, how to listen, that there is poetry in every instance, taught me to interpret the forgotten languages. When I was 8, he deemed our poem Invictus, wrote it on the back of his toolbox in black, and we would recite it over and over down long roads. Y'all, my dad taught me about long roads, taught me when you are fluent in the tongue of the world, you must also know control. Taught me what it means to be a poet. When I was 5, a snake bit him, and I watched this man bend down, grab it by both ends, and bite that snake in half. My dad taught me how to hold the devil in my mouth, how to spit him back out, how to swallow sin and speak deliverance. Taught me this life will wiggle. You got to grab it by both ends now that he's dead. I told the stars themselves, look, remember this. Every time a poem supernovas like a black hole in my pen, because I may be the vessel, but I am still the captain of the ship, and God may move through me, but I move the God in them. And stagger off into the crowd while they lay hands on me like butterfly pins. This becomes reverse revival. The moment my foot leaves the stage, I am the one now led to slaughter. You become the savior, so clear a path so my blood could Jordan its way to Jesus. Spitting a stiff stanza to be a staff of Moses, with me rocking and a-rolling on the waters of my passion, because I still to this day got all of Noah's wilderness stampeding around in the ark of my rib. You call me lion, call me pigeon, call me shepherd, call me a crescent moon threatening a star at saber point, holding the entire night for ransom. By dawn you will bear out your nakedness. A strip in each sentence tell me that shit ain't powerful. So the next time a poet says, look, your ass better be paying attention, because I've got a poem burn a hole in the back of my pocket. I got a poem burn a hole in the back of my pocket. I got a hole in my heart, y'all, where I ripped out a part of it just to write it. I've been searching for you for 34 years. 34 years to give this to you of practice and experience, and I think now I can finally present this. I went through hell to bring it here. Spent time as a love-held slave, spent time digging my own grave, just in the attempt to lay down and feel what it was like to rest, but there was no way. I couldn't even fake it. I had to gather up the strength, find you, and hand it over to who the true owner is. See, these words came from me, but they are not mine. It was always meant for you, all this gained in the grains of time. It was glyphed into my fingerprints, my body its residence, my spirit the key. I kept it tucked in the knots of my laces so no one else could see. For I am your poem, and right here, right now, I will bend down, untie my shoes, and hand it to you. Run these prints across your ears, inhaling my 34 years of faith. Open up our rib cage like angel wings, because we are all higher beings. And this poem I want you to keep tucked inside your laces, so when you go to walk, you walk with destination. I want you to tattoo it in your fingerprints so you never forget what kind of poem this is. And read it every single day by smiling at your reflection, memorizing everything, even the perfect, detailed imperfection. So when you get whipped in some cage you wound up in as a love-held slave, you can remember this and state, I know who I am. And when you go to dig a grave in the attempt to give up, you won't be able to close your eyes, and you will have no choice but to stand up and say, no, no, this isn't over. Because I'm poetry in motion, and I got to get up and get going, because I got a poem burn a hole in the back of my pocket. I got a poem burn a hole in the back of my pocket, and it reads, that Malcolm X said the price of freedom is death. So, which one are y'all ready to die for freedom? I'm not talking about bullets, tear gas, or treason. I'm talking about your life as you know it. See, this death is not bodily, it's metaphoric. So who's ready to dissect the Decepticons we are and turn transformers, informants, four-armed foremans, and kill the cult of Freemasons? Stop building brick buildings, blocking off our free ranges. That shelter is a stable that is not stable. And the head state is a snake turned rope. Let's entangle the control. Because every move you make is another weave, so you can't breathe in the chokehold. They move you into prospect position, waiting on you to tap out once they tap out your resources. So reinforce yourselves to each other to dismantle enforcement. And stop depending on those that only net you for your net worth that y'all are confusing with net worth.
Come on, that's it. That's it.
If you want change, our lives need to change first. So who's ready to die for freedom? Who's ready to take the first step in minutes? Who's ready to realize that every action offers more fuel for this man-hazard machine producing lies of a life we've been living? Who's ready to flip the script they've been given, causing anxiety attacks and depression? Who's ready to let these dead ideas and expectations break down their matter into raw moves that matter? Who's ready to pick up our birthrights as alchemists?
Let's go.
No sorcery, just illusion, so why don't we get to the source of the problem? When all our inner truths transmuted into oaths and became resold back to us as symbols that don't stand for anything, all the way from badges to medals to religions, who's ready to trade in their possessions that keep us possessed and processed with gold sticker sentiments of success? If your chains are gold encrusted, it makes them no different from those that are rusted. A slave is a slave, and a system built on product will always be a prison. So who's ready to feel real labor? See what the soil of our souls can grow when we grow nearer. Who's ready to die for freedom? Who's ready for protein and protein activism? Who's sick of sweet steam blowing confection confetti notions with no action? All it does is sugarcoat the whip, candy stripe the cell I'm in, leaving me clogged and confused and why nothing's moving. See, that Starbucks is a recharge in your day, charges you more than $3 and some change. It costs you change. And it may taste sweet, but drinking the caffeine from our coffins sounds sweeter than a scheme and a leash. Let's let these addictions die and make way for real energy. Invest locally. And who's sick of new illnesses and what appears to be contagious diabetes? How come a billboard will tell me 1 out of 5 kids are starving, and then a mile down the road another reads about obesity in our children? But Americans don't think that rations are rational. Hell, we already suicidal when we still using the phrase trying to get through this life like we run into the gallows. Never seeing that if death is the goal, then it's to earn the right to die. So who's ready to be about this life? Who's ready to die for freedom? You can find me in the cemetery, stand above a grave that bears the bars of my name, but there won't be any last respects I'll be paying. Just leave the copy of what was embodied there to be washed away by the elements. For the human being I am to move free from manipulation. Y'all keep saying we gotta fight for our rights as if we weren't fucking born with them.
Come on.
So let's be born again. Who's ready to die for freedom? Because we be dying over nothing, y'all. Over nothing. I seen it. I was there. Exact spot. He lifted his sneakers off. The solidity of the ground for the last time. And there is a black hole howling in my chest that spins with the rage of all things that are swept away in the current. They said all that was left of him was a tuft of red hair. My neighbor saw the odd parts unmushed across the road. She said she thought someone must have hit a deer. She had no idea it was a boy of only 14 years old. His name was Derek John Thomason. I went to his high school when I was young. He jumped right near my house. Newspapers read he was bullied to death. I am staring out at cars, and I'm tired of waiting for someone to stop. And there is a battle cry signaling war, roaring across everyone's windshield that sonics outward from the fist that pumps my God in me. When I was in school, y'all, I thought if I could make one big boom, I could make an impact, change minds. But we forget a span of 14 years. You young crew weren't there in the generation of Columbine. You didn't see the survivors, didn't get to sympathize with, yes, the shooters, didn't deal with a bomb threat every day for a year like I did. No one pushed the edges. There was a unity that happened in our school. how easily martyrs fade from our books and tarnish our golden rule. Parents, do you know how close your children are to the hand of death, and how they cling to his robe with an arm around his leg? My own mother still doesn't know. I came home every day and held a loaded gun to my head. She didn't see how blue my face had been when I was cut down from a bathroom door by a friend, swinging from a belt I had hung myself with, already stopped breathing, already convulsing, my own loose sneakers involuntarily banging the door. It was the only thing that alerted the next room that something was wrong. And here I am, staring out at cars, wondering where all the other poets are, whose words ever held in others' cries. I stopped caring so much about publications and credits ever since I was told my poetry stopped an elderly man from suicide. I am staring out at cars, and I am biting the words off and spitting them down the side of the Lane Street Bridge on 85 for my God in me to read back to myself. Now when I think, what is the point of this? I think of Derek. I think of him and have no problem with going at it alone, because by my God, if I would have known, I would have used this gift of words, and I would have stopped. I would have risked my job that day to save that boy's life, when communication has been such a breeze for me. Maybe it could have lifted him when he leapt and he could fly. I'm staring out over I-85, wondering why every bleeding heart is acting like a hypocrite when my God in my chest is burning all the bushels we used to hide the light with, when my heart is suffocating under the swift wind his sneakers left, while I am the one here. And now is not the time for silence, nor to be an advocate to stillness, when my generation is getting high on back rooms and couches instead of out here with me uniting, while we would rather keep our heads down than out there fighting for those who are weaker and those whose feet are in the same sneakers.
Yes.
Because it's easy to make killing trendy, like a song that plays on repeat. You know the one. It goes, all the other kids with the palms up kicks better run.
Come on.
Outrun my gun. Nicholas is 14. Daddy died when he was young. Was a real man's man. Stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Showed he is privileged. That there's something you want in this world, you got to take it. Nicholas can't pass his classes. Signs up for football, but the jocks laugh at him. He starts to notice females, wants to fuck them, but none of the girls will let Nicholas touch them. He's starting to fall into position of society's toxic white male condition that if there's something you want in this world, you got to take it. Comes home with a black eye. Remembers Daddy said power is a weapon every man must have. If they hurt you, you hurt them back. Signs up for the reserves, but y'all, they still laugh. He's seen the counselor 4 times in 2 weeks, been given pills that make it hard to sleep, and he's already tired of being bullied. Daddy said a man is deserving of respect. He's starting to think if they ain't giving it, he's going to take it. Classmates give him the nickname school shooter, a joke we've made in this culture. He's contemplating embracing it as his future. Society says a man is muscles, mags, and guns. There is no such thing as manly depression. His therapist says give the pills time to work. He tells the faculty if they don't do something, he's going to do something first. 4 more warning posts go up. His Facebook looks like a death threat no one wants to face yet. Profile of the persona they gave him. The pill still ain't working, so he's been planning for months. Knows where the AR-15 is locked up. Knows every fire drill. Makes a last effort. Confesses to his crush. Sarah tells him to fuck off. It's Valentine's Day. Calls Uber, got his headphones on. He's been listening to the same song all night long. Pulls out the campus, pulls out the AR-15, starts to sing. All the other kids, kicks in classroom 2B. Sarah screams, puts a bullet between her breasts. Pow, you love me now? With the pumped up kicks. Targets a football player in fetal position, shouts, stop crying or I'll give you something to cry about. Pow, better run, better run. Sights the counselor, shoves the barrel in his mouth. Swallow this and see how it goes down. You fucking prick, you never really gave a shit. Pow! Outrun my gun. Opens, full fire. Hypnotized by the sound of the rounds till he runs out. Panics at how loud the sudden silence is. Flees into the sea of teens. Cornered an hour later by the police, still ringing the red in his hands. Doesn't even notice the sirens. Shots still popping off in his synapses. Doesn't understand what happened. All he ever did is what his daddy, white America, taught him, how to be a man. Isn't this the monster that the white male standard birthed, that the NRA upholds, that mental illness triggers when it's ignored? Is it guilt of their creation? The reason he is so privileged to be cuffed and not shot on sight when the cops arrive? All the other kids with the pumped up kicks better run. Outrun that one. Did you hear that? Did you hear that? Oh, we gotta go. We gotta leave now. We're about to go on a journey. It's gonna be long. And it's gonna feel like it's not gonna end. But listen to me. No matter what happens, do not take your blindfold off. If you take your blindfold off, you will die. Do you understand? See, I play this game often. Learned at an early age.
Let's go, Shane.
The sound of a loved one's voice can turn into the rustling of demons and dead leaves and skins. I was 5 back then, tucked underneath a table. My father would rustle the tablecloth and say, "Come see." Mom's slurred speech turned from sweet siren to sour Jack Daniels. I knew if I crawled out from under this table, I'd see them, too drunk to sit up. The manager coming to kick us out again, or worse, some guy my dad pissed off. Another parking lot, gunshot, drive home. I couldn't see out the car window. How the lines couldn't keep my family straight. Y'all, I played this game. At 13, he pulls a gun in my face. And I couldn't see him, just a black barrel. So I ran blind into the woods behind our house and for hours listened to Mom try to coax me down from the mountain. But I told myself, that's not my dad. It's a demon. Just stay silent. Keep your eyes closed. At 15, I'm standing in front of his coffin. It was a private viewing. His body too mangled in the wreck. Too much jack, too much ledge, and not enough lines to keep our family straight. I knew not to look. That's not my daddy. It's just a body. I played this game. I'm hiding in a closet. My ex-husband is cursing so loud that the house is a cage of birds beating their wings against the walls. Drugs and narcissism has turned him into a violent wreck, trying to mangle me into something I'm not, so I don't look when he tells me I will die alone. Once, I walked 2 blocks with my eyes closed to get to a friend's car after he dumped pepper in my eyes. I've played this game. Flash forward. I'm busting through 2 folded doors to collapse on my friend's bed, blackout drunk, with my boyfriend upstairs. When I come to, I can hear my friend's voice. Man, he found you down here, and things, well, they went real bad. You got blood all over your head. Just rest. So I just keep my eyes closed, and I pry my head from the bloodstained pillow. I've played this game before. I learned how to walk through my own darkness, to love the sound of birds without attributing them to trauma. At a poetry show, a man asked me where my poem was, and his voice sounds like crows going the fuck off. He says, "You are so beautiful. Why don't you look?" I tell him that the sound of my story is the sound of demons, wrestling birds. is a mine shaft throat collapsing onto a bright, bold canary of a heart that I've learned to take the blindfold off, is to comply with the ugly, claiming it's beautiful, is to accept every definition they try to mangle me monster in.
Oh.
Sometimes it's best not to see what others try to show you and see it for yourself. My friend, I can see just fine, blind to the lies of these demons. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was the Bird Box poem.
Already.
Don't sue me. Ah, thank you. I got books. Come talk to me for real. If you got books, promote them too on this mic. Please sign up for my newsletter. You will not regret it. Love y'all. Seriously. Keep that.